up, everyone? This is Draco Evolve. Manchester United 5, RB Leipzig 0. Was this a perfect performance? What a night, what a performance, what a game. I pretty much answered it myself. For me personally, this was the perfect performance. Not only was there a bit of a surprise in the lineup, like we'll go to the lineup right now. That's the table, that's the head-to-head, that's the lineup here. We go to the lineup, really, right? But also the way that we approached the game and the way that we managed the game, the substitutions were good and impactful. We had strength coming off the bench. I mean, Marcus Rashford, the man of the hour on and off the field, coming on and scoring a hat-trick. Champions League top goal scorer is within his reach. I am very comfortable. Quote me on that. But it ended up 5-0. But the question is, was this a perfect performance? Let me start by talking about the lineup. It looks like a diamond because we had Matic, Fred, Pogba and Van der Beek. All are sort of central midfielders. But it wasn't really a diamond, was it? It was more like a 4-2-3-1. But the wide players where Pogba was cutting in. Pogba was more inside, and we had Martial on the wing more. Whereas on the other side, we had Mason Greenwood was more on the central side, you can say, along with Donny van der Beek. There were times when Mason Greenwood moved over the front. And I reckon RB Leipzig was totally confused as to what we were playing. But it was lovely to see the fluidity, right? Personally, for me, it was a hard choice. I did say in my preview that it's going to be an easy game. It's going to be 2-0 to Manchester United, but just got to be careful of some players. But it baffled me that we absolutely destroyed them. Was this a perfect game? Absolutely, in my opinion, yes. It was a perfect game. Let me tell you why it was a perfect game, right? One, they had a lot of the possession in the first half, but they didn't do anything. I think defensively we were organized. We were determined to win the ball. Most of the 50-50s we have won the ball. And defensively we look very solid, led by obviously Fred himself. Going forward, once we went 1-0 up, which were very fine margins, by the way, but it was the correct decision at the end of the day, we never looked in trouble. Like, even though they had a lot of the ball in the first half, they looked like they're going to do something, but we were so composed, and we were just composed at the back, right? Now, going forward, especially the changes that came in, and credit where credit is due, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done it again. That's the third game in a row I'm talking about his substitute changes, which is absolutely brilliant. I want to talk about it more and more and more. But he brought on McTominay, who added a bit more legs in the midfield, and also Matic was in a yellow card, and he made a couple of challenges, which was a bit, he was on the edge. But McTominay came on, and we had Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Tuanzebe and Cavani coming on. What a finish by Cavani, by the way, but it was ruled out for offside. But the strength in depth, I'm talking about going forward, like we had the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who's arguably been one of our, if not our best player since he signed last January, right? And we had Marcus Rashford coming on, who eventually ended up scoring a fantastic hat-trick. I mean, if there was a young striker, I will tell them, have a look at what Marcus Rashford did when he ran through, waiting for the whistle. We all thought he was going to be offside. He looked offside, but he carried on through and got the ball in the back of the net. Then I waited for the VAR decision. That was the perfect sort of run. Always play to the whistle, guys. Any young players looking up and playing, look at that goal. That was a perfect goal. In terms of going forward, I think when the players came on and the game management came in, which was fantastic from Ole, I love to see that, and I want to see more of that. We absolutely just blew them apart. They had zero penetration. I believe they had one real good chance with David De Gea made a save. I think it was from Konate's header. But other than that, they had a lot of the ball. It was huffing and puffing, but they didn't know what to do with it at the end of the day. We had too much quality. We were very organized. We were very disciplined. But going forward, we were on form. We were on fire. It could have been more. It could have been more. It should have been more. Poor RB Leipzig, right? They're the top of the Bundesliga. And for us to put in this performance in the Champions League, That's a bigger result than the one that we had in PSG. In terms of performance, certainly, we were so good against these guys. You can see on the stats, not much at the end in terms of possession, but I felt in the first half, Leipzig was on top in terms of possession, but they couldn't do anything. Like, anything. You can see, like, we had 14 shots on target, 14 shots, 7 on target, 5 goals, so only 2 misses, right? But it was absolutely brilliant. Was it the perfect performance in terms of defensively? Yes, of course. In terms of offensively, of course, 100%. 100%. Now, let's go back to Donny van de Beek, right? So, there's been a lot of talk around why didn't Donny van de Beek start, etc., etc. Everyone was pretty much happy from my Twitter feed. You know, I can see that a lot of people, including myself, was happy to see Donny van de Beek. I did run a little bit of a poll, which I'm going to go through in the first half. I said, you know, ran that was thoughts on Donny van de Beek. Thanks to everyone that's voted. It was stuck between superb and was good. I thought he was okay. There was nothing going on for him that much. I think he didn't get too much of the ball. He created a lot of lateral spaces, like vertical spaces, more than horizontal spaces, which you'd expect from him. He's that type of player. But it was nice to get him on the on the starting lineup from the get-go, and I think it will do him well. And I think the likes of certain pundits out there will need to shut up now. He just got a game, so be quiet. In terms of man of the match, I obviously I went for Fred. Thanks for everyone that's voted. A lot of you are saying Fred is the man of the match so far. That was just 5 minutes before the game finished. That was before Rashford's hat-trick, as that was just before Rashford's hat-trick, which would have probably changed that result. But for me personally, the man of the match, it has to be Fred. His defensive work has been great. He's made box-to-box runs. He was energetic. He was doing what Herrera used to do. And I keep saying that, and I've been saying that for the last couple of months. Like, there is a possibility that the way that the game is going, the CDM position is no longer necessary, much like a number 9 position, like or a winger position. The wingers are more like inside forwards. But you look at Bayern Munich, Thiago plays CDM. Is he classed as a CDM? No, he's never is and never will be. But it's about how you manage the game, how you control the game, how clever you are in terms of what you do and what positions you take up. And apart from Matic, Fred was fantastic. I mean, McTominay came in and added a lot of steel and energy to the midfield. I felt that was the right call. I think Matic was on the edge as well. He would have got a red card. Referee warned him a couple of times as well in terms of tackles, and he was already on a yellow card. So McTominay coming in and kind of adding a bit more energy to the midfield, that would probably destroy RB Leipzig. Like, if I was RB Leipzig and looking back on the bench and seeing the substitutions coming in, right? Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes coming on, I'd be like, oh, screw this, man. And on top of that, you had Tuanzebe, who's arguably been the best player in match day 1 for me. And obviously Cavani with the experience that's coming on. And McTominay, the energetic player. So, was it a perfect performance? Yes, but credit goes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Was it a perfect tactical game? 100% yes. We set up in a formation, we controlled and managed the game, then we went on the front foot, then we pressed and harried them in the second half, and the substitutions came in, the tactical approach, the tactical change came in, and it just absolutely blew RB Leipzig away. This table has not been updated. Obviously, we are on 6 points. We are leading the group, which is fantastic to see. Come on, Sky Sports. You need to be better than this. But that's my match review of Manchester United 5, RB Leipzig 0. My man of the match is Fred. Do let me know your comments below. Who was your man of the match and why? As always, guys, what a fantastic performance. And I hope all of you guys and girls out there sleep well tonight. I'll catch you guys in the next upload and stay fuddy.